Many people have theories around the Apple logo and why it was created the way it is. Why is it an apple? That's obvious because Apple is called Apple, but what does it stand for? What did Steve Jobs mean with the apple, and why has the logo got a bite in it? There are so many different theories around the logo that it's become sort of misinformation really within the design community, and a lot of you guys won't agree with what I'm saying today, but it is the ultimate truth. It's from the dog's mouth. Is it the horse's mouth? Today I'm going to be unveiling the truth behind the Apple logo. This video is brought to you by Squarespace. Click the link below to get 20% off your first website. To fully understand why the Apple logo is filled with lots of misinformation, we need to look back in time towards the first logo. The first logo was designed by Ronald Wayne in 1967. As you can tell, this looks like a joke, but it is really no joke. This is the first ever Apple logo. It was this old school vintage sort of portrait of Isaac Newton sat under an apple tree with an apple about to fall on his head. This was the sort of discovery of gravity. It's where the sort of penny dropped and people understood, especially Isaac Newton, this new force.
Use the force.
Isaac Newton. In 1981, Steve Jobs was asked at a press conference what the story of Apple is. Why is it called Apple? And Steve Jobs said, "I love apples and I like to eat them, but the main idea behind Apple is bringing simplicity to the public with the most sophisticated way, and that's it, nothing else. The fruit of creation, Apple. It was simple but strong." So we know now that the actual story of Apple is designed to be around simplicity, hence why the first Macintosh computer was called Macintosh, Steve Jobs' favorite Apple. And it all represents simplicity, this sort of discovery of something new. But Steve Jobs obviously didn't see the logo as scalable, functional, or very printable on these computers, so they wanted a redesign, and it didn't really speak very much about the company. It was a beautiful logo, illustration, but it didn't really work. So in 1977, they hired a new person to design the logo that you see today. Rob Janoff created the logo, and it was in 1977 when he was approached by Regis McKenna to be his art director. Since the time of creating this logo, there have been multiple, I won't say conspiracies, but theories around this logo, and I'm not sure where these have come from, but here's one of the conspiracies. One of the myths is that it is a tribute to Alan Turing. Alan Turing was the man who laid the foundations for the modern day computer. Unfortunately, Alan was unrecognized for this, and he was ostracized and humiliated for being homosexual. He faced jail time for indecency, so he ate an apple poisoned with cyanide, which ultimately killed him. Now, this is a nice story, but it's actually been dismissed by the designer of the logo, Rob Janoff. And he also dismissed the stories of the logo representing the Garden of Eden and the temptation taking the bite out of the apple, although that is a cool theory. So what does the actual apple mean? Well, of course, it's from the first logo, which is the representation of finding and discovering gravity through the falling apple. Simplicity. What's the simplest way to explain that story? An apple. But that doesn't answer the question that everyone's asking. Why is there a bite inside of this Apple logo? Well, to understand this, you have to understand more about logo design. Now, for myself, I am a logo designer. I design brand identities and I do brand strategy also. I do a lot of content on the channel surrounded in logo design, critiquing people's work and showing people my process of creating them. Now, the number one thing that a logo has to be is functional, and this is what differentiates art from design. Anything that you use, such as your phone or your computer, it's not art, it's been designed, it's functional, it's useful. Now, you can have a painting that looks great and it is art, but painting isn't all that useful in most circumstances. Design is something to be used. Now, a logo has to follow the same steps. It has to be used, it has to be scalable, it has to fit on items and products that you purchase, clothes, any print and packaging, and it has to be simplistic. So in 2009, Rob Janoff was actually interviewed about this question because there are so many theories behind the logo. So we know that Rob Janoff was creating his logo through basically drawing apples in different ways, finding out which one would be the simplistic and the best one to use. But the problem that he ran into with the apples that he was drawing is that when they were scaled down, so they were small, kind of like when you see it on your back of your iPhone, it didn't look like an apple. It looked like a cherry or another fruit. And that's not too weird, because in logo design, what we're constantly doing is testing the logo that we're creating. Does it work when it's large, when it's small, when it's torn to shreds? It has to work. So the actual reason, which is quite boring to some, but has left a mysterious outlook on a lot of other people, for the bite in the apple, the reason for it is scaling. The only reason that the apple has a bite in it is for the scaling. And the reason why it's an apple, not only did Steve love apples, but he actually looked at Isaac Newton in this story of discovering gravity and finding the simplest explanation. There's probably tons more information that you can find online, but these things are definitely true. So when you hear someone saying it's about Alan Turner, it's a lovely story, actually a tragic story that is nice to have as a tribute, but it's not true. There are so many companies and brands with famous logos such as BMW who have had stories made about their logos that weren't true. The only difference with BMW, which I will make a video on later, is that they sort of made it true. They liked the story, so they stuck by it. A little hint is that they thought that it was actually a propeller blade, that it's supposed to be an icon of that, when it wasn't. It was just a reverse of a flag color, so they wouldn't get done for copyright. Very weird, but they stuck with it and they did advertising campaigns with their logo on propeller planes. I just want to thank the sponsor of this video, Squarespace. If you're a designer, someone who likes to blog or sell items online, then Squarespace is the perfect place to host your website. Not only is it easy to have a domain set in there, easy to design the website with thousands of totally customizable templates. It's affordable too. I've been using Squarespace for 6 years now for my portfolio, for all my design work, to sell my online brushes and digital resources to you guys, host my blog, and also a place where my clients can contact me. If you like 10% off Squarespace, your first purchase, then click the link down below. And a little pro tip for anyone is that you get a free trial of Squarespace too, and you can design your website before you pay for it. So you can just do that right now. Click that link. Also, a little plug for myself. If you are new around here and you're wondering, how do I get clients? Like, client work is so sparse right now. I don't know what to do. There's so many different options. And I've got a webinar for you with a 20% discount code down below in the description. It's called Gaining Clients 101. And I talk to you about everything to do with gaining clients for designers and for creatives. So if you're struggling, then this webinar, which is live and will be recorded to watch later for those who have paid to be in the webinar, then it's going to help you so much. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.